Oh, I whirled my ankle. Hello, welcome to my channel. This is my 2015 Freightliner, aka Mercedes Sprinter. Let's take a look inside. Okay, so yeah, I purchased this van about, I think just over 2 years ago. And with the help of my dad, we pretty much fully converted this thing from just a fully empty shell into what we're gonna show you now. So yeah, come on inside. So I guess starting from the front, working our way back, we got this shelf this was, I think, actually the first thing we ever put in the van. There's a couple companies that sell brackets that go to these mounting points here, but we wanted to make our life extra hard and mount everything behind, so you didn't see any brackets. So we get some bracket mounts back in here, kind of bent a bit of metal, and they were able to kind of fit this and make it a lot more stealth. This right here is probably the most amount of storage for stuff in the van. Keep random stuff up here. I got towel, goggle bag, helmet, hats, kind of whatever. It's kind of just a bit of a space where stuff goes where it's maybe too big to fit in other cabinets. Yeah, working our way down, we got this lagoon arm, which are very popular in vans. And then the front seat that swivels. And once that thing swivels around, this kind of turns into like our little dining room area. So we have a bench seat here. I got these pads custom made to fit right here from a spot here in San Clemente. Underneath here, we have our fridge area. Pretty simple fridge, just a top opening fridge, 12 volt powered, and then kind of just some random storage. Along the edge of it, we got our cutting board here. We got our extension cable, and yeah, I got it attached, so every time that this lifts, it lifts the fridge along with it. Another thing I added that this van did not come with is these, I think they're from Van Windows Direct. Just a bit of a slider, get a little fresh breeze in. Okay, next would be, we have these cabinets that my dad designed. They run pretty much from right behind the driver's seat all the way to the back, and they have 5.5 different dividers. You can store clothing and stuff. Usually I'll take this one. My girlfriend Heather, who's behind the camera, will take this one. They're on these gas struts, kind of to keep them coming up on them by themselves. Right here is pretty much where I monitor all my power. So right now I got 90% charge on the batteries. I have 2 solar panels on top, each 100 watts, I believe. And then we have the alternator that charges as well. So the charge controller I have monitors both the alternator and the solar panel and feeds it all into lithium battery that's tucked behind here. Right now I just have 100 amp hour, but there's kind of room to upgrade if I ever find the need to. Yeah, here we got, this is GL, so this is garage light. I got a couple lights in the back. Shore power, I have shore power if I need to plug in when I'm parked at somebody's house to heat water or whatever else. Solar on and off. I got an electric water heater, which I'll show you shortly, which is also on a switch. And then I got my water pump and my fridge. Those are all kind of my switches. Got my light dimmer here for my lights. And I guess probably the most unique part of this van is this bed lift that my dad kind of came up with the design for. So we were kind of looking at a solution to not have to constantly take wheels on and off. And this solution here that we came up with has actually worked great. It's on a 12 volt circuit again. So it all just gets power from the lithium battery. And it has 11 inches of lift up and down. So right now it's in the highest position. I'll keep it usually in this position, kind of just day-to-day driving. And loading bikes in and out makes it easier. You'll see when we get to the back that I can keep the front wheel on, which a lot of people with vans cannot. And I thought it was pretty silly to have a van of this size and I have to pull my wheel off every time I put my bike in and out. So yeah, this is the bed lift. It's a bit of a slow process, but it does drop, yeah, pretty much all the way into here. I don't want to drop it all the way down right now because to drop it all the way down, I have to have my wheels straight, and right now the wheel's turned on the bike, which causes the bar to be a little higher. So not going to drop it all the way down, but kind of get an idea of this thing and how it works. Also, So we have 4 of those linear actuators. Each one of them is rated for, I think, around 250 pounds. So with me and my girlfriend, we're well below the weight limit here. And this is one of the linear actuators. So this driver side actually pulls up and the passenger side lifts. So yeah, they kind of work in opposite directions, but because they're all wired just onto this switch, they all kind of work in sync together. Okay, next part is we got the standard van fan. Looking back at it now, this was my first van build. I wish I'd done 2 of these, one here and one in the back. Kind of to compensate for that, we ended up just doing this little gyroscoping fan, which you can kind of point whatever direction you want it to go. So this works well, just keeping the van cool, circulating a bit of air. Pretty standard on most vans. Now if you want to come back up here, I'll show you this little area we got. Kind of most of our just like miscellaneous storage that we have. We got like trash bags, we got toothpaste, toothbrush, sunscreen, cutlery, I don't know, random mix of stuff, lighter for lighting propane. Coming down into here, we got both trash and recycling, and then kind of some more miscellaneous storage up here. On this side, got a place to put our pots and pans. We got plates, some cups, kind of just more miscellaneous stuff. Coming over to here, we got our sink area. Under the sink, we have our electric water heater, which pulls a ton of power, but I'll usually just try and run it when I'm driving. So I have both solar and alternator charging, because this thing pulls about 130 amps. So because I have a 30 amp charger that goes into the battery, when I'm driving, it tends to pull around 100 amps, and it runs for maybe 10 or 15 minutes before the water's hot. Yeah, if we want a warm shower, maybe after the beach, after riding, whatever, I'll try and run this thing as I'm driving. Underneath here too, we have kind of some more of our plumbing, the edge of our water tank, and probably one of my favorite parts is we have a water filter, which filters the water here. So all 25 gallons of water that we have in our storage tank, we can access with this tap, and it's all filtered water, which is great for riding because we're always in need of water. Okay, to kind of finish off this front area, we have a little more storage here. I'll kind of hang maybe some pads here, and I can kind of turn my fan to blow a bit of air to kind of get pads to dry off. Inside here, this is our power station, just miscellaneous kind of chargers. We got a mirror, kind of, yeah, a couple of miscellaneous electronics. In here, more storage. This is kind of like our pantry space, I guess. Got some protein powder, pasta strainer, some pasta, oil, all that kind of stuff you need for cooking. And then in here, we got a air blower, leaf blower thing. That works awesome for just blowing the van out. I got propane under here, some extra coolant. Once again, kind of more miscellaneous stuff. And then right here, we have our access to the garage area. This is on a stealthy little key fob. Key fob opens it up, and we got access to our back zone. Usually I'll keep like a laundry hamper kind of in here, put dirty clothes, and then back in here we have our stove as well that I can just kind of pull out and set here on the counter, or here, kind of wherever I need it to be. All right, let's go take a look at the garage area. All right, we had to move because there was landscapers coming in, blowing our audio. So, different location now, same van. We're gonna go to the back area now. First though, we got this Yakima Stage 2. This has a pretty high pay grade, which is nice. Right now I don't have an e-bike on it, but this rack can definitely handle an e-bike. And yeah, just a nice redesign from Yakima, new bike rack. Nice part about Yakima as well is they have this side swing attachment. So I'll show you what it does right now. Essentially lets the rack move out of the way so you can keep your bikes on here and have pretty much full access to the back, which I use all the time when I have bikes on the back. All right, here we are. This is our garage space. So you can see we got a ton of room back here. I can pretty much fit 2 dirt bikes back here if I need to, or we actually built also these 4 bike slots that go into this L-track system on the ground. So that's super convenient. Like I talked about earlier, the main goal of this van was to be able to keep the front wheels on, and we can do that. The fact that I'm using this thing more for kind of daily use and less for sleeping in, I definitely wanted to prioritize just easy access to bikes going in and out. So yeah, we have these bike racks that we kind of designed. Actually, I sort of got the idea from Tyler McCall. He's got a similar setup in his truck, and we kind of made it work for the van. So yeah, I got my e-bike in here right now. It's getting charged up. I have my power inverter turned on, and it's charging up the e-bike, which is awesome. Pretty much charging the e-bike fully off the sun right now. The nice thing about these bike racks as well is you don't need any straps or anything to hold them in place. Right now, the bike's just kind of sitting in there, and yeah, they stay in place without the need to tie them down or anything. So that's another super inconvenient aspect. Back here, we have our shower. This also has access to the hot water from the hot water tank, so we can kind of shower off the back. We have a curtain that can go across here if we need some privacy, but for the most part, I'm pretty much just showering off after the beach or something, or maybe after a long ride where we don't have access to a shower. So usually just showering off in board shorts anyways. Another thing I have that is kind of a good way to save money with these van builds is one of these telescoping ladders. So if I ever need access to my roof, I can just pull this thing out, get up top, where I have a platform that we'll show you later, just for extra storage. But yeah, I was kind of opposed to the idea of getting a ladder on the side of my van just constantly mounted, and they're also like upwards of $500. So I think we picked this thing up at a REI garage sale for like 70 bucks, and for the few times I do go on my roof, it's nice to have this. We also back here have pretty much a pump always on hand that's attached to this L-track system. Same with the ladder over here. We have this L-track system pretty much front to back on the garage. Back here we have, as I talked about, a place where you can plug in whether it's an e-bike charger or other things you need to charge. We got some USB chargers back in here. So moving over to this side, we have a wheel well cover. This thing opens up. Back here I have some more miscellaneous storage. Got right now helmet bag, extension cable for our shore power. And then pretty much from here into the front of the van, kind of the, I guess, more living area, we have our water tank. It's 25 gallons. It's not one of those ones that goes over the wheel wells. While those are super nice for the fact that you save a lot of space with them, the way we designed this is kind of almost unused space. So yeah, decided to go that route. I think the wheel well ones are also quite a bit more expensive. This one we got was pretty cheap. It's just a basic kind of rectangular shape. Also in here, kind of out of reach, is our water pump, and the water pump goes to a water accumulator, which then feeds the sink for a nice steady water flow. Here you have a little bit more sight on how these linear actuators are mounted. We have pretty much 2 bolts holding them in, and then that's connected to this aluminum bed frame that my good buddy Bubba Warren welded up for me and his dad. Have a spot to connect the broom back here just to keep this place tidy. Another wheel well cover. This is more kind of just for aesthetics. Also offers a bit of storage space. And then back in here is pretty much our whole power system. So we have our inverter in here, our charge controller. We have a big breaker in case we need to do a hard reset on stuff. And then some more plugs. Yeah, kind of the whole electrical system sort of lives in this area back here. Yeah, I think that kind of concludes most of this van. Got a bit of lighting in here for when it gets dark at night. One thing I still am kind of working on is something to put in the back right here. Just a bit, potentially some more storage. And then also here, potentially putting a piece of wood to also just have some storage, maybe a better place to hang helmets. Right now I just kind of hang this helmet here, which works, but it'd be nice to have a little bit more storage for that kind of stuff. So working our way around, we got our shore power plug right here. Up top we have our solar panel mounted in the back, and then we have this nice big lock and load platform from Yakima. It's kind of a good spot. You can hang out up there, catch the sunset, or also just a great spot for extra storage, easy ups, sort of stuff you don't want to keep inside. Plans for the future with this thing is to maybe have like a permanent storage box up there where I can keep some spare parts, maybe some extra belts just in case things go wrong on the road. Coming around to the front here. We got a nice little stealthy light bar under here, just for a little bit of extra lighting on dark roads. And yeah, also have a light off the side and a couple lights off the back. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of my van. Hopefully it gave you some ideas for your van build. Huge thanks to my dad for helping with this. Without his help, there's no way it would have turned out as good as it did. He was huge with all the woodwork and all the electrical. If you guys have any comments or questions for your van builds that you're doing, feel free to drop those down in the comments below. If not, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.